Good morning, student. Today's chapter number 4. We are going to discuss regarding the sorting materials into groups. Already I have discussed regarding this introduction part. That are objects around us. What are the objects we find around us? There are different objects which are made up of from different materials. According to based on their materials, we are sorting each one of these objects into a different form, different group, in order to have a clear understanding of various things. So whatever things that are, whatever object that are made up of, that is where we are sorting out, or we are separating them into a forming a group. So now we'll study about the important properties of materials. That is important properties of material. That is properties of material. That today we are going to deal properties of material. Properties of material. What are the properties of material today's? So, have you ever seen a tumbler which is made up of cloth? Or we can say, if you see any water bottle which is made up of cloth, or we can say if any glass is made up of cloth or paper. No. You haven't seen any tumbler or a glass or a container which are used for storing liquid are not made up of from cloth. It is not made up of cloth, it is made up of from certain material, that is metal. Or you can say glass is made up from silica. So if you observe, generally there would not be, if we were to make a tumbler or glass out of cloth, what would happen? So does it can able to store liquid? No, because the cloth having some force, so easily the water may seep through it. So the material, like a container for liquid, for storing liquids, the material is made up of from different materials. So if you see, it would be wise to use paper like material for cooking basin. Does cook utensils are made up of paper? No. So that we choose a material to make a certain object, therefore we choose a material to make an object are completely depending upon the properties of material. Those objects which are made up from a material, the material must be dependent. We choose that material depending on the properties of material. We can't choose a paper to make a utensil for cooking food. You cannot choose paper for making a utensils. That is property. Property is most important priority in choosing a material to make any object. For making any object, we must see the properties. Got it now? So what are all the properties? What are all these properties of the material that would be important for their usage? What are the important properties what are the important properties of all the materials that are used, that are most important for its usage? So now some properties are discussed here in this chapter. Some properties are given, such as I will just list it out. First one is appearance. Appearance. A-P-P-E-A-R-A-N-C. Appearance. Then second one is, that is hardness. H-A-R-D-N-E-S-S. Hardness. Third one is, that is soluble or insoluble. Third one is soluble or insoluble. Soluble or insoluble. Insoluble. So first one is appearance, hardness, soluble or insoluble. These are the important properties. These are the most primary important properties. There are many properties, so we'll discuss later. So first one is appearance. If you take For example, in appearance, if you take appearance wood, and also you take metal like iron, copper, aluminum, does these properties of wood is similar to this iron, copper and aluminum? No. Got it now? So material usually look different from each other. All this material compared to wood, like metal like iron, copper, aluminum, or we can say cloth, we can say many things. All materials are different from one another. They appear to be different from each other. So wood look very different from metals such as iron, copper and aluminum. Their appearance is different. But this iron, copper and aluminum having a similar properties than that of wood. So what are the similar properties? So iron, copper, aluminum are having some similar properties, but this wood is different from the metal. If you compare if you mention hardness, iron is very strong, wood is not that much strong than iron. So we will study next properties. So we will take activity. In that activity, what we will do? We are collecting some different pieces of material, such as chalk, then chalk piece. Then we are taking aluminum sheet, cardboard, wood, and also we are taking paper, and so we are taking copper wire. So these are the materials we are taking. So what happened? Now, so if you observe this chalk piece, cardboard, wood, paper, copper wire, aluminum wire or aluminum sheet you take, does any of this material, does it appear shiny? Yes or no? Does it appear shiny? So what we will do? Now take this chalk piece, every piece of material take, now just cut with a knife, or you can cut with any cutting instrument. Take a cutting instrument and cut it. If you cut it, what happens? The freshly cut surface, what you will find? You will find a shiny surface. Just you cut it into two pieces. Otherwise, you take a cardboard and cut into two pieces. The freshly cut surface, it will be very shiny compared to other surface, uncut surface. If you take a wood, also you will find paper. Otherwise, copper wire or aluminum wire or aluminum sheet, you take it, cut it. Otherwise, take a sandpaper and just rub it on the surface of the material. What you will find? After some time, you will find shiny surface exposed. You will find shiny surface. Certain material will not show shiny surface unless it is rubbed with a sandpaper. Why? Because these materials are exposed to the air and moisture in the atmosphere. So what happens? Therefore, they will lose its shiny. That is known as luster. Shiny appearance means luster. Luster property. Luster means shiny. Gold. If you take a gold, it is most lustrous. Diamond is more than that. Non-metal. That is non-metal. But lustrous properties, gold is more. Aluminum, if you take aluminum. So after some time, some materials are there, some metals are there, they will lose its dull appearances. It will lose its shiny property. That is lusterness. So why? Because it is reacting with the air and moisture which are present in the atmosphere. Therefore, if you want to expose the shiny surface of that material, we have to rub with a sandpaper. So that's how we identify different materials have different shiny surfaces, or you can say. So this is how we can So why you visit, and if you visit in a ironsmith or any workshop, you will find a variety of materials which are cut with a, which are freshly cut surface of metal rods to see they have luster. If you find a freshly cut metal rods, you will find a luster. You will find a luster cut surface. You will find a shining surface. They have luster. So this is how the appearance will decide the property. It will die. This is the appearance is one part of the property of a material. Then next we will go to hardness. Then we will go to hardness. Then we will go to hardness. Hardness in the sense, materials are there. If you press different material, if you press different material, if you try to press the materials, some materials you are able to press and some are not possible. Some are not. You can press a stone? No. You cannot press stone. Because why? Why? Because you are not able to press the stone. Why you are able to press sponge? So there are different materials that can be compressed, and also there are some materials which cannot be compressed by applying certain force. So here whatever, take a metal key and try to scratch it. Take a metal key, try to scratch it. Take a chalk piece or a chalk, or we can say rubber, we can say iron, or you can say candle. What you have to do? Collect some of these materials and try to scratch with a key. Try to scratch chalk piece. Does chalk piece easily scratched? If it is scratched, take it and keep it aside. And take rubber. If you try to scratch with a metal key, then it is able to scratch. If it is scratched, keep it in a groove. Make a groove which is scratched, which can be easily scratched and which cannot be scratched. So iron, it is easily scratched? No. So you keep it aside. Then candle, it is scratched? Yes. So you could keep it in a groove form. So what happened? Likewise, you can make a groove which can be scratched, or that materials which are not able to scratch. You form a groove, two grooves. So likewise, if you see, so material which can be compressed or scratched easily are known as, those materials are called to be soft. They are called to be soft. These are soft. Chalk piece can be scratched. Rubber can be scratched. Candle. These are soft. These are soft. These are soft. Like iron, the materials which cannot be compressed, those materials are called hard. Those materials are called, like for a best example, hard. Those materials are called hard. Got it now? So in appearance, material can be different properties. In appearance, if you see according to appearance, materials can be different property. Material have different properties. Such as I told, what is hardness? And hardness means what? The materials which cannot be compressed easily. The materials which cannot be compressed, while the other materials which are difficult to compress, are called hard. And some materials are there which can be easily scratched or compressed. Such materials are called as soft. Such materials are said to be soft. Got it now? So in appearance, by the appearance of a material, we can describe their properties. There are several properties. So can you think of other properties that describe the appearance of a material? Other properties that describe the appearance of a material. The other properties means that is physical properties. You will study in higher classes. Physical properties. In physical properties, by color, texture, color, odor, and boiling point, melting point, melting point, and there are various melting point, boiling point, texture, color, odor, boiling point, melting point, and there are various. These are physical properties. By looking at this, we can describe the properties. We can describe the by appearance. We can also describe certain properties by looking at the physical properties. There are physical properties. These are the all physical. Then soluble, insoluble. We will study in this chapter. But these are we will not study texture, color, odor, boiling point, melting point. But we can study that soluble and insoluble. These are also a property of a material. These are also a property of material. So I hope you understood by this small explanation. Next we will study soluble and insoluble in next video. So this is the appearance. This is the first properties of material. This appearance. By looking at the material, we can see whether they are shiny or luster. We can say that is the by cutting the piece of a material or cutting into two pieces, the freshly cut surface exposed to the environment, that is freshly cut, that it will show a property called appearance, which shiny, lustrous, luster property or shiny properties. So mostly example gold, silver, these are, it will show platinum, this shows lustrous property. And also you will find there are certain materials which cannot be easily compressed or scratched. Such materials are called hard, or you can say there are materials which can be easily compressed and scratched. Those materials are called what? Soft. So appearance, hardness, and soluble, insoluble we study tomorrow chapter. Thank you.